printing the redesigned version, the one that I've designed for the lithium-ion batteries. It's had to have quite a bit of redesign to try and fit those batteries in, and I have gone for the vertical layout rather than the horizontal layout because they wouldn't quite fit horizontally. That looks very complicated there. That's because it's using the lightning infill and the tree supports. It's the tree supports that are the really funny things, the curvy bits. You will have to look that up for yourself, what the tree supports are. But it minimises the amount of filament it uses to do the support layers. And since I found out about it, I've been using it nearly every time. Oh, and just for reference, that's my USB powered light panel, which is normally running off 3 AAA batteries. I'm running it off a USB power supply. And then time-lapse camera, and up under there is the security camera that I use to monitor what's going on, so I don't have to run upstairs and have a look. Well, that's the lithium-ion version finished. Only just finished. It needs to cool down before I can lift it up properly. 6 hours 31 minutes. I have to dig out the support layers. Yeah, I'll do that later. Bright sunny day. It's just coming up to midday, so we'll be going out in a minute to do our regular midday snack and shopping. But before we go, we'll just check whether it actually fits. The 3D print wasn't perfect. The corner's a little bit gone over there, but that's not going to affect it. It's still going to work for my purposes. So that's the bulge I've put on top compared to the original. I've also put plus and minus on the front, and then we've got slots there for the batteries to go in, all the way in. That looks good, so they fit. Obviously I've got to do a bit of wiring, put the metal tags at the front there, wire it all round. We'll still need a balance lead and a JST tucked in the side there so we can actually charge it up in between runs. But that looks like that'll go. I'll just mention that some people will say, why didn't I just put 14500 batteries in the original battery pack? And the answer is no good reason. I could do that quite easily. I do have about a dozen 14500 lithium-ion batteries. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they are lithium-ion batteries that are the same size as a AA battery. And what you would do, because the battery pack would take 4, you'd put 2 of them in and 2 dummies to fill up the spaces. So you could just run this on 2 14500 batteries. But I've got lots of vape batteries, and I've also got these lithium-ion batteries that I've had for a long time and never got round to using. So that's what we're doing. We're using up what I've got. Those would have cost me £1 each, and the vape batteries, the LiPo batteries, are free because I just picked them up in the street. that was a bit of a tight squeeze to get that all in there without squeezing the wires at the end. There is a gap at the end, but there's not much space. So we've got the JST lead in for charging, we've got the balance lead in there for charging, got the 2 batteries in there, got the contacts soldered in. So the positive of one battery goes direct to there, positive of the JST goes to there, the red wire from the balance lead goes to there. So that's 3 wires all soldered on there. On that one, we've got the negative of the JST lead, the outside black wire, and the negative of that battery soldered to there. And then at the top end, we've got the positive of that battery, negative of that battery, and the middle balance lead all soldered together for balance purposes. Then quite a bit of hot glue in there to stop any movement, because if they do squeeze up to the end there, they could potentially squish through the insulation and short things out. So hot glue to stop it moving. And it's on charge. And it's actually charging up nicely. We're up to 7.48 at the moment. Only charging it at 600 milliamps. It's actually dropped down to 300 milliamps because it's charging well. We are fully charged. I will talk about 14500s in a minute, but we'll just give it a try, run it around on the floor here. If you saw the previous videos, you'll know it's a bit of a waste of time trying to run it indoors. It needs much more space to maneuver. But we'll at least see whether it runs and whether it fits. So those got to tuck in there. Also got to put it in the right way up. That way up. Right, that fits in there. That bit flicks over, which pushes it forwards. So we've got a little bit sticking out underneath that wasn't there before. But I think we'll still have enough clearance to run it around. Turn it on. Okay, that looks like that'll work. So we'll put it on the floor, just let it go around a little bit, and then I'll talk about 14500s. And then maybe tomorrow, if the weather is good enough, we'll have a run outdoors. Right, we will give it a little run. It's practically a waste of time because it can't turn tightly enough to maneuver on the floor here. We need to have a car park or something. But at least we'll see the lithium-ion battery run. I have to give it a little bit of a push start. I could just try throwing it, I suppose, but yeah. So I just put it on its side for a second. You would think if I gave it opposite lock or something, it might actually straighten up, but it doesn't. Either the steering isn't good enough, or there's a fault with it, or it's like I've been doing, I have to give it a launch. Once it's going, I can actually control it. Yeah, wasting my time really trying to do it in here. It needs a good run to get itself sorted out, and then we can get it going round and about. Right, now we'll talk about 14500s. What are 14500s? That's a 14500. It's a lithium ion battery that's the same size as a AA battery, but instead of being 1.5 volts, they're 3.7 volts. Or in fact, when they're freshly charged, they're a little bit more than that. There's the other one. So, I think we can see that meter. Put that on there. So that one's coming in at 3.82. And that one's coming in at 4.09. So, yeah, you don't replace 4 AA batteries with 4 of them. Because instead of being 6 volts, you'll be more like 16 volts. So you'll kill whatever you put them into. So they will fit straight into the battery compartment. But just 2 of them instead of 4. Still getting 8 volts there instead of 6 volts. So we're still putting more power into it than we want to. But then you need a couple of these, which are dummies. They're just plastic cases with a bit of wire between the 2 ends. So they just take up the gap between. So now that's an 8 volt battery, which we could have done right at the beginning instead of using our vape batteries or our Poundland PowerPod batteries. But I wanted to use them. These are fairly expensive. The vape batteries are absolutely free to me because I pick them up in the street. And the Poundland PowerPods cost me £1 each a long time ago. And I did want to make use of them before they finally give up because they've never been used. So this is the easy option, which, as I say, we could have done right at the beginning. So that goes in there, that goes on there, still turned on. So yeah, we could have done that, but I didn't want to. I wanted to make use of my free stuff and my 3D printer. So next video, hopefully we'll be outdoors somewhere where we can give it a bit of a run so it can actually sort itself out, get its balance right, and we can actually drive it around a bit. If you haven't seen the series already, there'll be a link in the video description to the playlist for this motorbike. And there is one video there already of me trying it out in a skate park. And it did perform, but it ate these batteries very quickly, which is why we wanted to give it something a bit more powerful. Also in the video description, there'll be links to me doing other things with these batteries, picking up vapes and taking the batteries out of them. So check the video description, there'll be more information. And there will be another video where we actually try this outdoors. If I remember, I'll take all 3 options and we'll try it with all 3. If I don't kill it. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.